My dad is famous for his eggnog, so I asked him to show us how to make it.
Eggnog. First, you separate the whites from the yolks. Put the whites in the refrigerator for later. Put all that dozen, I start with a dozen yolks in here and mix them up until they are light in color. Then we start adding the powdered sugar very, very slowly. Oh, you can join me when I start that. Okay, these are the yolks, folks. Haha. Okay, now that they're light in color, I'm going to add 1 spoonful at a time, a pound of powdered sugar. So I just get in here and add it. I'm trying not to kill myself and wait for it to get all mixed in there before I add the next one. So it's kind of a slow process. Okay, so this is you want to show them what this looks like? This is the homogenized, can you see that all right? If anybody wants to know what a dozen egg yolks and a pound of powdered sugar looks like, it's very thick and sticky. And now I am going to pour into it a half a liter of Myers dark rum. And again, this needs to go in very slowly, otherwise everything separates. So I basically just start by putting a little bit in, and while I'm waiting, I can put a little bit in just to taste it. And I just let it get homogenized until I add the next one in. And so now that it's not going to take quite as long as the sugar did, but it'll take a while. But I get to smell it all the time. After that you just put in the refrigerator overnight.
Great. We'll see you in the morning.
All right. So this made about a liter of the sugar and eggs and rum, thank you. So I'm going to split this in half because there's not going to be enough room in here if I use the whole thing. Okay, that's about half. At this point, it doesn't really matter because what we're going to do is we're going to mix that. And now we don't really have to add slowly because everything mixes good. And into the total dozen eggs goes a half a gallon of heavy whipping cream. And so I'm going to put in half of this half gallon. And you can just add it, not super fast, but you don't have to worry about separating. And then when I get done with this, then I'm going to put in about a half a liter for this batch, so a liter total of brandy. The recipe says cheap brandy, and of course that makes a lot of sense to me, but I use El Presidente brandy from Mexico. That seems to work pretty well. Okay. You're probably asking yourself, what about all those egg whites that I separated out? Those went into the refrigerator and I let them warm up now to room temperature because they say when they're room temperature, they whip up easier. And I'm going to whip them up. And they also say that you want to make sure that everything is very clean before you whip eggs, because if things are in there that don't belong in the eggs, they won't whip. So when I'm done with that, it's supposed to be whipped until it's stiff but not dry. And you'll get a feeling for that just by looking at it. And then I'll fold it into the eggnog. Okay? It's like really easy. What? So this is adding the egg whites to the eggnog. Usually they'll all come out. No, they didn't all come out in one lump. But. So then you're supposed to fold the egg whites, whatever that means, into the eggnog. And all I do is just kind of mix it slowly. And the reason why is that the whipped egg whites make it really frothy, and they bring out that, you know, terroir, that terre je ne sais quoi of the flavors in the eggnog. And since those are French words and they regard food, you know that that's correct. Okay, gotta mix this up. This will take a little while.
And this is what it looks like when it's done. Enjoy! I also wanted to include the recipe, which can be seen here, although if you can decipher that, congratulations. And the dogs get their final treat for being good.